tonight, but he's going to introduce himself a little bit. So I want to welcome you guys back for our live show. And Eric, what is up? Give us a little introduction from you.
What's happening, Mafia? As he said, my name's Eric, Nova Racer, just because I'm racing a drag racing in Nova. So that's where that came from. And been a Steelers fan since like 1970. I remember being able to stay up late at night just to be able to watch them on Monday Night Football. Pretty much the only time I was ever able to stay up late. But I've been a rabid fan since 1970. So.
And Nova's one of our moderators on the channel. You always see him in the chat, guys. So this is him. Now you can put a face to the name, Nova Racer.
What's up?
And you see him too. Nova's always in these other shows. That's how I started to see him. And then he started watching my stuff. And now we're here doing a live show. What's up, Wesley? What's up, Justin? You've been here for 12 minutes, Wesley. Way to go. Way to be a dedicated Mic Drop Mafia member, man. No doubt about it. All right, guys, we are going to dive into this. Hey, what's up, 24K? We are going to dive into tonight's show. And we are going to really rock some shit out here in terms of cap space, in terms of maybe the roster a little bit, in terms of maybe the mock draft and some things that you guys want to talk about. But we want to really talk about this cap space stuff and the roster going on here. We got the Sports Track website up Nova was looking at. So we're going to go off of that if anybody needs to look at anything while we're going through. And you can see the actual numbers. Nova, what do you think about these guys being already right now $4 million still over the cap? What do you think this Pittsburgh Steelers team needs to do in order to get under this cap? We'll start there. What's your thoughts on that? Just to get under the cap, what do you think they need to do in terms of cuts, maybe restructures? Where do you think they're at?
Well, I think they can do it right away with Allen Robinson. I don't think his output is quite worth being like the fourth highest paid player on the team. But I think that frees up, what, 11 million? Something like that. But I know
Almost.
they like to go into the season with at least 10 million for injuries and everything. You probably are looking at 15 million just to sign your rookie class. And so there's, $25 million we have to account for already. And then you start thinking about, signing any free agents that we want. That's going to be at least another 10 to 15 million. So we've got to lose some cash here soon. The biggest thing is, I just found out today that, who was it? I think they said that Minkah was the only one that they can restructure. Cam and TJ, they can't restructure. The best they can do would be to extend them to save somebody there. But just those three guys are like 75 million alone. So
yeah, they're the tops. Yeah,
I think you'll see Cam get extended. That would make the most sense. But still, I don't like going down, pushing that money down the road either, because we're going to have to account for it someplace.
Yeah, no doubt. You have to account for it at some time. And then, like you just said, that's what, from what I've heard, from what I know, from what I've read, is that's what a restructure is. Pushing money down the road, like you just said, and getting guys maybe extended and things of that nature. And I think what you were talking about with Minkah is how they can restructure in terms of like a big bonus and shit like that. I think that's what he can do. And I think the other guys, what you were saying is, kick the can down the road, extend them, give them a little bit of bonus now, but you have to add years to that contract. I was just reading this website that Nova had sent me. Eric, I'm going to call you Eric. I don't want to keep calling you Nova Racer. But anyway, active contracts currently right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, $251 million. Dead cap currently right now with the cuts that they have made, and they're still paying a little bit of Kendrick Green, players like that. Still about $8 million in the dead area. 2023 rollover, you're having a $3 million hit there. So you're at a $259 million with dead rollovers in current contracts. So yes, you're going to have to eliminate some shit here, guys, in a big, big way. Calculated market values on some of these guys. You have Alex Highsmith, 13.9, Levi Wallace, 5.9. Those guys you can maybe work a little bit of magic with also if you need to. Levi, I believe, is a free agent. Alex Highsmith is a guy that's going to have to maybe take a little bit and add maybe a year or two, kick a little bit of money around. But in terms of these big contracts, Nova or Eric, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deontay Johnson, Alex Highsmith, Larry Ogunjobi, Allen Robinson, James Daniels, and Isaac Smalley, those guys. Out of that top like 10 or 15 there on the salary cap hit, which player do you think the Steelers could part with other than Allen Robinson? Do you think there's another guy that the Steelers could let go?
Well, I think Mason Cole is like one of those top 10 players too, and I believe he's at that's almost 7 million, 6.5, something like that. So
3.25 this year, 3.25, and then 1.521 would be his signing bonus, and then dead cap is 1.5 million roster bonus for this year. Sorry, not dead cap. So yeah,
yeah,
you're
I
right,
mean,
6 million.
well, I don't like going in without at least a backup center, but I don't think he's worth that's a player right there that I feel that could be parted with, or what about Pat Peterson? If you
Yeah.
I think he wants to stay. I think he realizes now that he's not as fast as he used to be. So maybe, to be able to stay here and play the safety role, he might be willing to take, some type of a restructure or a pay cut or
Mm-hmm.
something. I believe he wants to stay here with the team, honestly. But,
Mm-hmm.
um, Allen Robinson, right there's one right off the top that the production that he gave us last year was not worth anything near that kind of money. So,
Yeah, his salary's 10 million. His signing bonus will be 1.9, almost $2 million for Allen Robinson. Patrick Peterson will be sitting around $9 million, guys. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey guys, just before we keep going, hit that like button, go up in that top right hand corner and hit that. Beer Malls, we'll talk about that here in 1 second, brother. I've seen your comment. Wesley, I don't think he is reading the chat much. No, I'm reading it, buddy. We're just talking about these numbers. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're good. 24K. Hope you're doing good. We're going to read the chat, but these numbers, I really want you guys to get these because this really means a whole hell of a lot moving into the 2024 season. I mean, a shit ton, guys.
that's
So
what I
my
think.
picks. Go
I
ahead, man.
don't think people realize, hey, sign Kirk Cousins. Well, that's $40 million. Where are you going to come up with that money? You're going to just get rid of TJ, or get rid
Yeah,
of Minka or something? You have to make up for that money someplace else. And
yeah,
that's why I felt that Mason would probably, as good as he is as a quarterback, I think it's going to be a value type thing also, where you're not going to have to pay a guy like that $40 million, and I think he has the ability to become as good as Kirk Cousins, but he needs to be developed like the rest of the quarterbacks are.
absolutely. Yeah, no doubt, man. And then you're looking at these salaries. Maybe like a guy like Larry Ogunjobi is going to be due 11 to 13 million dollar area with signing bonuses and shit like that. Get rid of maybe some of these older guys and bring in. You have Keanu Benton, who was a rising star last year. Maybe he fills that role. Cameron Hayward, 16 million and $4 million on the signing bonus. That's $20 million for a guy that was injured 90% of the time last year, didn't play very well. Just wasn't the same old Cam. So that's like a big issue. You
Yeah,
have,
I see Beer Malls just came. He's right. Robinson it's just lost money for a couple of catches a
mhm,
game. It's not
yeah,
worth that kind of money. I
no.
think he probably want to stay, and I don't think he's going to get $11 million anywhere else either, though.
No, I don't either. And there's another thing too, guys. Mason Cole, he's not going to start for any other team in the NFL at all. That guy's looking at what $6.5 million, like we just talked about. He's not going to be able to start anywhere else. He's not that caliber guy. He makes a lot of mistakes in the blocking world. He makes a lot of mistakes in the snapping portion of it, also. So I mean, it's a big problem for sure.
Plus, we have to get
Here's,
some mean linemen. We got to get
mhm,
back to the way that this team used to be, and get some nasty guys up front, some guys that are
yeah,
willing to dig in the trenches. They got to win that
mhm,
battle, and we're going to have to, you know, I think that's what they're going to look for in the draft this year. And actually, that's what I was thinking about with my draft. I mean, if you could go with, oh, who was that one? Actually, I had a little bit different idea than you had. I think if Jeremiah Trotter is available at 20,
mhm.
I would take the because it's such a long, such a deep offensive tackle class. You could go with a Trotter if he's available at 20. I wouldn't be sad about that either.
No, no, I'm a more how I did mine, I'm a more of the guy along the lines of how the Steelers have thought back in the days and throughout the years of best player available. And if that happens to be a tackle, cool. If that happens to be someone else, cool. Whatever. I just want them to get that best player available. And I was trying to feel whole. So in an ideal world, and I don't disagree with what you're saying there absolutely at all. Not at all.
Well, you could go with
They
that
bust
if
that.
we could sign Sweat. That what's his first name? DeAndre Sweat. That
Yeah.
would get rid of. That would be able to get rid of Ogunjobi right there. So
Yeah.
that would, we could save money doing that. And I
Hmm.
think Larry O's not producing the way he used to be either.
No, and he's dealt with so many injuries throughout the years. And then you got guys on here too that I was just looking at, Eric. Cole Holcomb, a guy that had a devastating injury. He's $7 million to the cap. Are they going to get some relief there if he's injured and get rid of him? That's just something else that we got to look at. You have, you know, a Landon Roberts is $4 million. You're going to want to keep him. So there's some definite variables. What's up, Strolls? What's up, boys? I saw the mock draft earlier today that projected Bo Nix going to the Steelers. What are your thoughts on this? Personally, I say stick with Kenny. However, we basically have only have one QB. Yeah, what do you think about Bo Nix there, Eric?
I don't
Do you
think
like
we're
him?
gonna. I honestly, well, I like him, but I don't think that's somebody we're gonna take with a number 20. We just
Mm-mm.
signed Kenny on a first rounder a couple years ago, and I don't think they're looking to get a high draft pick quarterback this year. Um, I saw today on Bleacher Report, right in a row. First it was Fields, then we're gonna get Russ, then we're gonna get Kirk Cousins, and every one of them was almost guaranteed to come here. So I don't know where we're gonna
Yeah.
find room for all these guys, but
We'll have the world's largest quarterback room here in about two
yeah,
days.
we'll let
Like what the
we'll let
hell?
each one start every other game.
Yeah, no shit. All right, guys, we're talking about the salary cap. We're talking about the Steelers roster. Anything you guys want to talk about, you can put it in the chat and we will get to it. We're talking about this stuff first. Also, hit that like button, those three little white dots. Hit that like button for us and spread our show out. We appreciate it greatly. We almost have 50 people right now, so hit that like button. Everybody crush that like button for me. So many questions. Oh, yeah. So, my question is, who else do we bring in to compete for quarterback? And then Unknown says O line needs to be a priority. Absolutely. Who do you think, Eric, while we have you on here, what do you think the Steelers' solution would be at the quarterback position for moving into the 2024 season?
Honestly, I think they make Mason a priority, and they should be willing to pay him at least what they paid Mitch, because obviously he's proven to be twice as good or 100 times as good as him. So he deserves at least that much, or I think it would be a slap in the face to him. But I think he comes
Mm,
in, and now I believe that after Rooney and Khan and everybody saw what he could do, and Khan loves him anyway. So I think you make Mason a priority, get Kenny to have some competition. If make him win the job, make
yeah.
it Mason the number one. Make Kenny try to earn it. If not, he'd be a good backup number two. And then I
Mm,
think you bring in another, like a Tannehill wouldn't be a bad guy to have in the room to help learn the system the new system that Arthur Smith is going to be bringing in. And then look for maybe a quarterback in the fourth or fifth round. If that Rattler seems like I think he'd be a
yeah.
good developmental quarterback. So honestly, that would be a good room to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I like what you're saying there. I don't have any disagreements. Beer Malls asked the question here: does the head coach's salary account towards the team salary cap? No, it does not. No
Nope.
coaches' salaries do. Let's go down. Strolls. Yeah, he agrees about the O line. We definitely do need DB help. What's up, Steeler Wade? Steeler Wade, he got a channel, guys. Go over and check Steeler Wade out too. While you're at it, old Steeler Wade, he's a good dude. So go check him out. What's up, Steeler Wade? Glad you made it with us tonight. 24K. Jimmy G released from the Raiders today. Is that a possible backup for the Steelers? Oh, I don't like it because of his injury history. And I mean, he plays well occasionally. It is what it is. He made it to a Super Bowl, but I don't like his injury history. I don't know if that would be a fit with the play action pass type offense Arthur Smith likes to run. But what do you think, Eric, about a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo just released from the Raiders? Do you think that could work in the Steelers' favor?
I think they're gonna have to figure out if they bring Mason in. I don't think Garoppolo would be. I just think you're going to have too many cooks to try to spoil the soup. You know,
Yeah.
you got to figure out who you're going to want to be your number one. You're not going to want to have three guys trying. And then we've already seen how Tomlin deals with a three quarterback competition. It just doesn't work out. He picks one guy, and the other two
Hmm.
might better have stayed home. But
Yeah.
Garoppolo, I think, is probably going to want more money than they'd pay Mason too, and
Yeah.
he's going to be looking to be a starter. And I don't think they're ready to give up on Kenny yet. And I don't think they're looking to bring in somebody that's going to be a high dollar quarterback that's going to want to be a starter, other than maybe
Mhm.
Mason or developing Kenny.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You're going to pay big bucks, guys, for these dudes. Garoppolo's been a starter. He's going to want some money and he's going to want a chance to be the guy. Kirk Cousins is going to want to be the guy. He wants to win a Super Bowl before his career's up. Like, he's hungry for that. He's coming off an Achilles injury. Going to require a lot of money to get these guys for sure. No problem, Steeler Way. Thanks, Strolls. I appreciate that. Always come with us. Beer Malls. We have always been good with drafting a wide receiver. Y'all think we good this year at wide receiver? Or can we score a late rounder? I have the Steelers taking Johnny Wilson, wide receiver out of Florida State. I like him. He's a big body guy, 6'6", a couple 100 pounds, big dude. I think he could really rock some people's worlds out there in the blocking game. And I think he could be versatile in the pass game in an Arthur Smith offense. What do you think about the wide receiver position, Eric? Do you think that that's something the Steelers should focus on in this draft? Or do you think it's something that they could maybe get in free agency?
Well, Beer Malls is right. We normally don't have a problem drafting wide receivers. I mean, what was DJ, a sixth rounder? We've
Mhm.
we've been able to hit on receivers all the way through. But I will say, if who is it, Marvin Harrison Jr. If he's
Mhm.
available at 20, I'd jump on him.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I highly doubt it, but no freaking way. I definitely would get him. What's up, Sean? Sean's here, guys. What's up? Welcome to Sean. Um, yeah, guys like that probably won't fall to us, but we hope that would be sick as shit. Yeah, I definitely would. All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button. We got to do that. That helps our show. I really appreciate. We're getting near 100, so let's get that like button cracked down here a little bit, guys. Uh,
I'd like to see
Steeler
what
Wade.
I'd
Go
like to
ahead,
see
man.
what I'd like to find out what everybody else thinks, who they would cut, and what changes they would make to that top. Who do they think is an expendable player to start getting some of the salary cap money back? We're gonna need at least $40 million under before we start going into free agency and signing our rookies, and then
Mhm.
$10 million at least on the books. Look what happened this year with injuries. We're going to have to go into the season with like $10 million. So I mean, you're looking at
Yeah.
getting at least $40 million more under the cap.
Yeah, I agree. You're going to have a lot of moves here, man. And everybody pay attention. Next week's going to really heat up because Omar Khan don't mess around. He wants to get this shit handled and he wants to be prepared for free agency, for the draft. And he's not going to shit around the bed here like Kevin Colbert did sometimes, where we waited to the last minute for a lot of things, missed out on some things sometimes. But hey, Omar Khan, he really does it. Steeler Wade says that he thinks that Mason would be cool with a backup role in Pittsburgh. He has been for 5+ years and can appreciate and he appreciates like Charlie Batch. I'm not sure, man. I think I get what you're saying, that he really has been respectful and he really has been a great team player and he's done what he needed to do and he's been a good guy for the city of Pittsburgh and he's not caused any waves. And I think now that Mason had that late season success, I think he's ready to compete for his starting job officially for real this time instead of what happened to him earlier in his career. Do you think that same thing, Eric, about that? Do you think Mason's more geared toward an actual competition for that starting job?
I think now not only did it show other people and show Tomlin and Rooney and everybody that he's capable. I think Tomlin had Mason pretty much doubting himself. And now that he's
Hmm.
been in there and what he's been able to do the last 4 games, and that's without he's never had a preseason or a training camp as a number one. He's never even been developed. Everybody keeps talking about develop Kenny, develop Kenny. Well, how many years has Kenny had so far, and how many games has he had to start and be the number one guy? Let
Yeah,
Mason be the number one guy. Develop him with the talent he has now, and he's only 28 years old. I think he'd be better than Kirk Cousins. I think he'd be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think in the right situation, I think Mason going to be one of the top quarterbacks if given that chance and that development.
Yeah, I agree. I can't really even add anything to that. That's like perfect. Yeah, for sure. Strolls, I'm glad. Hold on, wait, I got messed out of the chat. Strolls, I'm glad they cut Harvin. Thank God they ran Mitch out. I think we could trim the fat with guys like Larry O. Jason Ferguson says trade DJ. Stroll says Pat Peterson should be cut or moved permanently to safety. And I'll get to your question in 1 second. No, or 24K. What do you think about those moves? I like getting rid of like a Larry Ogunjobi to create cap space. I think a Patrick Peterson could be a cap casualty, but I think Tomlin really likes him. What about those two guys, Eric? Do you think that they could be guys you could get rid of? I think it would add a lot of money. Or would you consider keeping Larry O or Patrick Peterson?
The problem is Tomlin gets his pets, and for some reason he holds on to players even when they're bad and pays them the money, and he's liable to keep Larry O around and pay him that big money, and he won't be able to make half of the games. So to me, yeah, I would get rid of Larry O and sign one of those strong new rookie defensive guard or defensive tackles. Get some fresh blood in there. Some guys that aren't going to get hurt every other week. I don't know how many games Larry missed last year, but I don't think he played quite a bit. And if he did, he was only at 50%. So I would get rid of him. Pat Peterson, I'd love to keep him for safety, but not at what he's making now.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I don't think it will work, guys. I don't think Patrick Peterson should be here. I think he's just getting too old in the tooth, man, for sure. 24K, your message went away, but no, I don't know who that player was, man. I'm sorry, I don't know. I read it before. I have no clue who that guy was. I didn't see him. There's so many guys out there to look at. Mark Malone said he led the freaking NFL in QBR. Are you talking about Mason at the end? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Watt. I said Watt. Okay, maybe somebody else is talking. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, he got it. Yeah, Eric likes him. Beer malls, like y'all said. Robinson gone. I'll tell you what Cam may really need to get negotiated. Yeah, I think Cam's gonna have to figure it out. I don't know if his production really was enough, man, for sure. Lois B. Mullen, what's up? Steeler Wade Show. Revision, a backup role to Kenny is a strong opportunity to start. Yeah, you're going to start a lot of games if you're the backup to Kenny because he has a ton of injuries. Do you think quarterbacks are going to look at that, Eric? Hey, Kenny gets hurt. He's been hurt 7 times already. Do you think they're going to look at that and say, that might be the opportunity, man? That might be the place to go. Do you think people are looking at that?
Oh, I think definitely that's in the back of Mason's mind right now. He's probably thinking, geez, I only have to make it 2 games and I'm the starter. So,
yeah, no shit.
I mean, Kenny's going to get hurt. I don't think he's ever going to stop running scared from the pocket. I mean, it's almost like that's his go-to now. He doesn't even try to stay in the pocket. It's like he just hikes the ball and starts taking off running. And I think that kills our offensive line too. But I think, if it's put to Mason that way, especially Mason, I think he's probably thinking in the back of my mind, I'm not going to have to wait too long before I'm the starter.
Yeah,
and they already kept him in when Kenny was healthy last year. So he's probably figuring, let Kenny go out there, screw up for a couple of games. I'll come in and be a hero and take off with the team.
Yeah, the guy on the right is Beer Malls. They just helped Tomlin hype up his locker room. Yeah, that's his pets, like he was talking about, like Eric was talking about. Tomlin gets his guys and won't let them go, and I think Patrick Peterson's one of them. We'll see.
Look at Harvin.
Mark.
Look how long he kept Harvin.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. How in the hell, guys, can you have Mike freaking Tomlin be considered one of the best coaches and allow, hold on, I got to put my water down because I got to get on a soapbox here for a second. You allow Matt effing Canada to ruin the offense for 3 damn years and sit idle and do absolutely not a freaking thing about it. You allow Presley Harvin to destroy field position every game with his bullshit punts. You bring in practice squad guys off the freaking street that punt better than him. You allow these things to go on so long. How can anyone say that's great coaching, man? I don't know. Am I being too hard on Tomlin, Eric?
No, we've kept. He has pet coaches and pet players, and I've said it. I used to support him, and then it started about the time when Mason came in, and I saw what he did with Mason because Mason looked good to me. He didn't look that bad. If there's a couple of receivers that don't drop a couple of balls, he's 7-1. If the Ravens don't try to kill him, he has a
Hmm.
chance of being 7-1. He was 5-3, and there was 2 games that he could have won. And then the following year in the Lions game, he won. If I think it was Fryermuth that dropped the
Hmm.
pass, we were in
Yeah.
field goal range. I mean,
Hmm.
unbelievable. But I
Yeah,
think
he
Mason's
wins
a
that
lot
game if
better than.
yeah.
I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for, and I'd really love to see him get a chance. But anyway, with Tomlin, the more I see the way he is loyal to bad coaches and bad players, just like we were talking about, why wouldn't you get rid of Harvin? Why would you keep somebody that's always hurt? Look what they did with Banner a couple years ago. He played like 3 plays and he got him a $10 million contract.
Yeah, some of these guys. You look at Mitchell Trubisky in the games that he played in the city of Pittsburgh.
Unreal.
He made $25 million here. Like,
Yeah.
what the shit, dude?
Yeah.
Let's read a couple more comments here. Kenny rolling out of a clean pocket drives me crazy. Steeler Wade likes your shirt. Eric, thank you, Steeler Wade. Bounce VR. Yo, this podcast is good. Hell yeah, it's good. It's the best one. We're real here. This ain't big box media bullshit. Thank you, Bounce VR. I appreciate it. Guys, hit that like button up in the top right hand corner of your show screen there. Hit that little 3 white dots and smash the shit out of that like button for us here on Mike Drop Sports. When he got hurt, he was trying to do it all in an emergency situation. Kenny plays hard. What do you think about that, Eric? I agree, Steeler Ray. Kenny does play hard, but I don't think he has the intangibles. What do you think about that comment there, Eric, about the Kenny playing hard? Is that enough?
Kenny plays hard in the fourth quarter. I mean,
Yeah.
he went at least half of his games going 3 quarters without getting a first down. And Canada isn't the one making him run, scramble out of the pocket as fast as he can and miss wide open wide receivers. I mean, they're standing downfield 20 yards with nobody anywhere near him. Kenny doesn't even see them. He stares guys down right out of the huddle. You know exactly who he's going to throw to. No, I don't see, when your quarterback doesn't get a first down for 3 quarters of the game, that's pathetic. And then, that's why he has all his fourth quarter comebacks because he has to.
Yeah, no choice. Al, now I have a question for you. Do you think that this is by design? Tomlin, how Canada handled Kenny. Do you think it's more by design with the way Kenny played, with them telling him to be conservative? Or do you think that it's more of a Kenny thing? What do you think? Was it more on coaching or more on Kenny?
Well, I think Tomlin probably stressed, don't turn that ball over, don't turn the ball over. But um, I think that, you know, Kenny's not going to throw it to anybody else if he's running with it or he's throwing it 20 yards out of bounds. That's one good thing I can say about him. He threw it where not even our receivers could catch it.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt, man. I think I don't know. I just think that Kenny had his happy feet. I think he had a lot of issues with leaving clean pockets. I'm just not sold on Kenny Pickett, guys. All right, let's get back to some more of the comment. Strolls, I feel like in the draft, there is a lot of talent at the QB position, and I won't be surprised if some of these guys drop the later rounds. And if that happens, I won't be shocked if the Steelers won in round 2. I'm not sure about round 2, Strolls, but I have them in my mock draft in the 7th round with pick 237, taking a quarterback that shined down at the Senior Bowl. Carter Bradley, a guy from South Alabama. He played really well down there at the Senior Bowl, and it looked like the Steelers were keeping an eye on him. So that's just my theory. What do you think about that, Nova? Do you think taking a quarterback in the 7th round is a waste of a pick, or do you think that that's something that they could work with?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd touch a quarterback in the 7th round. If we're going to do something, I think we should go, fourth. I don't think we have a 5th rounder this year, do we?
No,
One,
no,
one.
we have no 5th rounder.
Yeah. So I would. I mean, if there's one, because we have 2 4th rounders this year. If somebody like Rattler drops to us, definitely. But I think we need to get bigger quarterbacks. That's the other thing I noticed between Mason and Kenny. When Mason's in the pocket, you can see the whole line him surrounded completely, and he just looks over top everybody and tosses the ball. Where Kenny, I don't think he can see over the line when everybody's caving in on him like that. So I think we need
Yeah,
a
I
bigger
agree.
quarterback. So if you got somebody like Rattler that comes to us in like the second, fourth round pick or something, I would nail it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. And guys, when we're talking about this mock draft shit, we're talking about this other stuff. These are all hypothetical things. And like, I'm not set in stone. Hey, I can get on board with anything as long as it's a solid player. That's all I care about. Beer malls, Kenny gets spoofed by players who are on the sideline. You ain't lying there. Mason would think that that way if he was younger, but he doesn't have much wait time left in his career. No, he doesn't, man. Time's running thin. Steeler Wade, appreciate you, man. It is a cool ass show. I do need to calm down. All right, Penn Jazz. I think if Mason gets a decent offer elsewhere, he jumps at it. I agree. Do you think that, Eric, too? Do you think Mason Rudolph gets a $7-8 million a year offer somewhere, do you think he takes that as opposed to coming back with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think he's looking at that here. Honestly, I don't think that they're going to pay him. I don't think they're even going to offer him a small amount. I mean, I know that they understand that other teams are going to be looking at him, so I don't think they come in anything under 7 or 8 million right now. But I think his allegiance to his players and the way that the team rallies around him and the love he has for the players that he's been there for, what is he, the second longest player on the team. So he's made a lot of relationships with these guys. And after
Yeah.
last season, I mean, he was all choked up when he was talking about, winning with the team and having, it was like he was sad that the season ended. So I think a lot of that's going to play into his decision too. If there's another team that's going to be anywhere near the amount, like if it's 8 million one place and 7 million with the Steelers, I think he still takes the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's where you're looking, $6-7 million range for Mason Rudolph to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's an offer that's a fair offer from the Steelers, and I think it would be something that's beneficial for both sides. I really do. Asher, I could see that. I could see the Seahawks picking him up, though. I could see the Seahawks. I could see Atlanta being a real place for him to go. That's where he's been really linked to. Beer malls. The problem with Kenny is he's got one leg in a frat house at Pitt and a big toe in the NFL. Hometown here to like, hey, I actually got to learn the playbook. Yeah, I don't know. I think he works hard, Beer Malls, but you're right. He's got something going on, no doubt. No doubt about it. All right, guys, let's keep moving with the show. Hit that like button. There's almost 100 people in here, and we have 18 likes. That's craziness. Get up there and hit that like button for us. Show a little support for us. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go over some mock draft stuff here. This is something you heard mine earlier. Let's go round by round, Eric, and talk about some of these picks and see who you would take in round one and thus and so forth all the way down. You guys also interact with us. Put who you guys would take in the draft. I'm not going to be looking at the comments as much here while we're going through this. I'll try to look, but just put it in there and we'll get the comments here in a second. All right. In round one, pick 20, tackle. I have them taking tackle Talise Funga out of Oregon State. Do you like that pick, or who do you got in the first round?
I like that pick. I think honestly, I mean, you're looking at that Powers Johnson. You just don't know who's going to fall to us and how fast they're going to go.
Right.
It could be a run on middle linebackers, it could be a run on cornerbacks. You don't know, but I mean, if there's a chance, I would go with JPJ or DeAndre Sweat if
Yeah.
either of them fall to us. Or
Yeah.
Marvin
Actually,
Marvin
that's one I
Harrison
wanted to
Jr.
ask you. Yeah, I don't know if he'll fall, but I wanted to ask you that before we went. Do you think Jackson Powers Johnson will be available around pick 20? And do you think a center like him is worth a first round pick? Do you think that he's earned that now to be considered to be a first round selection? You know how centers are usually a second round type guy. What do you think about Jackson Powers Johnson? Do you
I
think that
think
that's a good risk?
Yeah, I think you definitely look at taking him at 20. The problem is when you're drafting late like us, you're almost looking at, a top of second rounder or somebody that falls. But I think you have to go center. We need this line. We have been ignoring this line with the exception of last year, but we've been ignoring this offensive line for way too long. And this
Yeah.
team used to build through the offensive line. That was always number one for us. And we
Yeah.
always had great offensive lines. And since they quit going for it, I mean, yeah, Najee's been doing pretty good for us. But I think when we drafted Najee, we probably should have been drafting a center or a guard or a tackle or something in that round. But we've got to sit. We've got to focus on that offensive line. But I do think if somebody like DeAndre Sweat falls, I think you stack up that defensive line too because Cam's getting old. We're going to need to rebuild that line, and we really don't have anybody that's ready to come in for Cam.
No, and you saw that happen with the Killer B era, how they let the defense even just get old, and you can't neglect positions like you're saying. You can't neglect sides of the football for too long because you all of a sudden become old, and then it's a huge liability, guys. You just can't do that. Lois B. Mullen, thanks. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Listen to Lois. Kenny Herron, definitely O line. Eddie Edero, Mims from Georgia O line. I like that one too. But like we were talking there, Nova, I think that there, like you said, there's runs on certain players, and we talk about that. You got to watch where those runs happen, and that's really going to dictate who they pick and where they pick, or what kind of position they pick here, guys, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to round two. Pick 51 for your Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them taking Zach Frazier, center from WVU. You liked one of the centers in the first round. I wouldn't be opposed to him at all in the first round either. Who do you have them getting in the second round there, Eric?
I actually had Zach Frazier in the second round. And that's there again. It depends. I mean, if we can grab a Powers Johnson, if we get somebody else, then we've got to start getting back to best player available, kind of with the positions that we need. But this is such a heavy draft for linemen this year that I wouldn't be opposed to going to a middle linebacker or a great corner in the first round, and then in the second round grabbing the best offensive lineman then. So
yeah, no doubt.
I think it's going to matter of where it falls, but it's funny because I had Zach Frazier too.
Yeah. He's a project. He is. I think Steeler Wade was talking about he needs some more work, not enough steps. He is. He's from Fairmont, West Virginia, right down the road from me. The guy got hurt last season, but I think he fit with his mentality, a good size, 6'2" or 6'1", around that area, 300 and some pounds. A guy that's a big dude, but yet small enough to do what the Steelers like to do, guys. Pull around, be versatile in that aspect. And I think that that's a big, big, big plus that would get the eyes of the Steelers brass on Zach Frazier.
Well,
But we know Powers Johnson's a beast.
I like that Fashionow from Penn State too, or Joe Alt.
Yeah, I like
out of
him.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to depend on where these guys are taken. But if any of those guys are available, even a Tyler Guyton would be another guy that I would take in a second, third round, depending on what we got in the first and second round. It's going to be who's available and the best position. But we really should focus on a cornerback early too if one drops to us.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, 24K, for the super chat, Jason and Eric Mason. Somewhere other than the Steelers, starter, bridge, or backup. I think he's going to come back to the Steelers. I'm hoping, but yeah, we were talking earlier that he could be a bridge, he could be a backup somewhere, and he could take the money. But it's just one of those things that you're just going to have to wait and see how this all plays out, and which teams need a guy because people get injured, people leave, people get cut, salary issues. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a big, big, big set of variables that dictate what happens here. Steeler Wade show, not enough starts, need more snaps. Hey, Eric, feel free to look at the chat. If you have a comment you want to read, please do. Do that. I'd appreciate it. Steeler Wade show. Hello, Matt Burton. We have so many holes. Getting the best player available should be easy to do. I agree. Do you think the Steelers have far too many holes? This is my theory that they can't make trades because they need all these draft picks. Do you think maybe it'd be who of them to try to accumulate some more? Do you think the Steelers have so many damn holes that they got to hit on every freaking pick basically this season? Or do you think they're going to be able to get a little bit in free agency?
I have been hating it the last few years. I mean, if you go back to what was it, the 2019, 20, and 21 draft, Would we have 2 players left on the team from then? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And I also don't like the fact that pretty much our whole defense is made up of free agents. When did we get away
Yeah.
from we before Tomlin, we always used to build through the draft. Now it's like we don't develop players anymore. We just go out and sign free agents for a year, and then you have to start all over again. Same thing with our offensive line. Just too much turnover. Those guys have to gel. I mean,
Yeah.
we've
No
got it.
doubt.
We've got to start building. The unfortunate thing is we're gonna have holes because we have so many free agents and so many borrowed players every year on our defense. Middle
Yeah.
linebackers. Look at how many we went through last year. I mean, that's going to be a position of need.
Yeah.
I think we need a cornerback. You know, we
Yeah.
can't depend. We can't depend on oh, what's his name coming back from that knee injury. We're hoping he does, but also that's
Yeah.
a big question mark. So I think we
Yeah.
need to go after a cornerback, O line, and middle linebacker are our biggest holes, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Other than
That's
that,
fair.
I think we have players that can do what's needed. Other than that,
Yeah, no doubt. I think that that's a fair assessment there. Cornerback, O line, linebacker, those are definitely big ones for sure. What's up, Scroll Keeper? Appreciate you stopping through. Kenny's biggest problem isn't that he leaves clean pockets, it's that receivers have to be college open. He can't do tight windows. Exactly. That's a big thing for sure. No doubt. You got yeah, pro open and college open are two different things there, my friends. No doubt. Hey,
yeah.
somebody said, hey, Nova.
As far as Mason goes, and I'm not going to keep pounding on it, but I I just think that if he gets the shot, I don't think he's a bridge quarterback. I don't think he's a backup, a number two. I think Mason's got the talent to be one of the top quarterbacks if he's given the chance. If somebody like right now in Atlanta, I forget what commenter said it, but yeah, that coach that helped him in Oklahoma State is now the offensive coordinator down in Atlanta. I bet you he's going to try to make a play for Mason, and I don't think he's going to be looking at Mason as a backup there.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks,
I'd rather
Sealer
see
Wade.
him
I
here.
appreciate that. Yeah, me too. I would. Here's one that I know is a touchy subject with you there, Eric. Trade first round pick for Justin Fields. Give us your thoughts on that because I know that's a touchy subject with you.
Absolutely not. And everybody that keeps saying that, you should have learned your lesson with Mitch. I get the same exact excuses for Fields as I do when Mitch got here. It's the coach's fault. It's the wide receiver's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Well, those people aren't making him fumble the ball 2 times a game. That's his
Yeah.
average twice a game. 38 fumbles or something like that and 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
No. No, thank you.
That's
I have no
68
use for it.
turnovers.
Yep, he's just another version of Kenny. They always look to run first. We need a quarterback that's ready to stand in the pocket, take that shot, just like Mason last year. I mean, he had people hanging over him, holding onto his arm when he was throwing the ball, and
Yeah.
he's still completing the pass. Those
I don't
guys
want a running back.
no. It's just to
Yeah.
me, Fields doesn't make sense. I think it would be the same. He's a mixture of Kenny and Mitch.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's going to
Exactly.
throw
And
interceptions.
people were enamored by that running thing. That's what people were
That's
looking
the
at.
only reason they want it. And
Yeah.
why do you think Lamar's not running anymore? Why do you think he's staying in the pocket? He's learning how to be a quarterback now. It's all fine when those guys are fresh out of college and their legs are brand new and they can take off running. But when they're taking off running, what's the use of having receivers?
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, and
No doubt. I don't like it.
And it's only going to get your quarterback killed.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, we have 100 people in here watching the live show right now. Get up there and hit that like button up there in the 3 little white dots. Smash the shit out of that like button. It keeps dropping back into 100 and all that. I want to see 100 likes at least here soon. Thank you. Yeah, Tomlin could never handle a Fields as QB. I don't think I just don't think it works. Guys, we've said it so many damn times on this show, and I want everyone to be super clear. Running quarterbacks don't win championships, and nobody can prove that otherwise because the statistics show it. They don't. Patrick Mahomes isn't a runner. I had somebody say, well, Pat can run. He can run when he has to, but he throws the damn football and he throws it really, really well. And he's able to process the game. And that's what you're looking for in a quarterback, a guy that can throw and dissect defenses. And you want a guy that has athleticism. I get that. I love athletic guys, but they're just that, more athletic than a pocket passer. I want a guy that can throw from the pocket. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the running quarterbacks are always a flash in the pan. They come in for a couple
Yeah.
years, make those runs. Next thing you know, the defenses all know exactly what their tendencies are, and then they get
Mhm.
hit by a couple of big linebackers, and then pretty soon they're on the sidelines, just like Kenny has been.
Yeah. Mystic Z says, to be honest, though, who's better, Ryan Tannehill or Justin Fields? I take a Ryan Tannehill for the reasons I just said. He can pass from the pocket, he can do play action. And I know Justin Fields is a superior athlete. He may be a hell of a guy, but he isn't the guy I'm looking for at quarterback because he's not that whole package that I would personally want. What's your feelings, Nova? Justin Fields or Ryan Tannehill? If you were going to build a team and you had to pick one of the two, who do you pick?
I'd take Tannehill. I don't think Tannehill is going to get you a proven starter. I think Fields is going to come in there and try to be the hero. I think he's going to come in and just keep trying to run, run, run. And you saw how happy our receivers were last year when Kenny was doing all that running. They're standing
Yeah,
downfield with 20 yards between them and the closest DB, and they're not throwing the ball to him. You see why they
yeah,
started quitting on him. The next thing you know, you got uh, Deontay just sitting there watch a fumble roll over his foot.
yeah.
They're
Agree, dude.
pissed.
Yeah, no shit. Hey, thanks, D. Nova, you got a compliment. He said you were smart as shit. Num num nom nam. I
Thank you.
never pronounce his name, so I call him D now. So he changes things. So we'll call him D. That's our boy D. Can anyone name a run first quarterback that has won a Super Bowl? I can't name one. Can you?
No,
No, I can't. I just
no.
can't off the top of my head. Matt Barton, let them keep losing. Yeah, with not with us. I don't want to keep losing. Not just like Kenny has. Beer Malls, they won't. Roger Goodell thinks he's the tush pushes. Why? Sorry, guys, I got mixed up in the chat here, so we're
Yeah,
gonna go back down to the bottom.
I see Eddie Edro talking about Penix again. We're not going
Mhm.
to go. I guarantee you, you might better forget about any of those first round quarterbacks because the Steelers aren't going to take another first round quarterback this year.
No.
Rooney's not going to waste another first round pick when they're still trying to develop Kenny. And I
Hmm.
know that when you have Tomlin starting to say that he wants to do business with Mason, well, I think that they're looking at Mason because
Yeah.
yeah, the two of them, they know that they both know each other. They know the system. They're familiar with all the players on the team. And, Mason's a great locker room guy, too. All those guys all looked up to him, and he was a huge
Yeah.
leader for the team that we've been lacking.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's continue with our mock draft, guys, while we're going through. We made it to round 2. Let's go to round 3 here. I have them taking Johnny Wilson, the wide receiver from Florida State. There's another guy from North Carolina I really like, but I think that they will take Johnny Wilson from Florida State just because I think that's who will be available. Who do you got in round 3, Eric?
I would take a Tyler Guyton
Yeah.
if he's
Do you think he
available.
falls clean down to round 3? Many have him picked
Yeah.
in the first.
Well, I don't think so because he was a tight end and he's just
Mm,
recently moved. Plus, he can only play right side. A lot of
yeah,
coaches like somebody that can move, and
right.
especially like a Tomlin. If
Mm,
they're coming in, he wants them to be able to be versatile enough to play on the left side if they're needed, especially
yeah,
somebody like that that's not going to be come right out first day starter. So he's going to want to be able to play everywhere on that line. So I just don't think that Guyton's going to be an early pick just because of the stuff that I've heard about his versatility in moving over from tight end. But
yeah.
I like that Kamari Lassiter.
Yeah, yeah, he could
I
be a
think,
good pick for sure.
yeah, I think that would be. I would love to see him focus on the offensive and defensive line at least, unless somebody somebody huge that comes to us, like a Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my. If he
Yeah,
falls to
one of
20,
the big
man,
names.
we better jump on it. But we've
Yeah,
also
you
got to
got to
start.
take them.
We also got to start taking a look at the middle linebackers. We've really got to
Yeah,
get some good middle linebackers, and not somebody that we're just borrowing from.
It's just gotta quit that trying to formation projects, all that shit. Hey, yeah, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit them like buttons. I appreciate it as we keep moving through the show. So this show will be maybe an hour or so here. We'll see how we feel as we keep moving. Beer Malls accept the running game. He apologized though to Deontay and Pickens for giving him so much flack this year with the offense being such a mess. Uh, yeah, I apologize to him too, and I think that they got the raw deal. I just want to see them act like better teammates, and I think they did toward the end of the year. Do you think they started that, Nova, toward the end of the year, acting a little bit better, acting a little bit more team oriented, and a little bit more with the program under the guidance of a guy like Mason Rudolph, who's a real leader?
I think Mason saved Tomlin's ass, honestly.
I do too.
I think that team was a mess. You could see when they were talking about Tomlin going to Washington. I think right about then was when the whole team seemed to basically give up. That's when Chooks said, piss on this. We ought to just kneel. I'm done with this. And that's when you saw DJ let the ball roll over his foot when I think it was Jalen that fumbled. It just looked like the whole team had given up, especially after that Colts game. When by the time Mason came in, the whole team seemed completely different. Pickens was blocking and having fun. He was, even when he wasn't getting passes thrown to him, he was over on the sidelines joking around with his teammates. He was blocking like crazy. DJ was definitely into the game. He was psyched. You need a leader like that. That's one of the main reasons that I think that they don't let Mason go, because they just saw what a transformation that locker room was after him.
Yeah, I agree. Let's keep going with the draft here, guys. Steeler Radio, thank you for the compliment, man. Appreciate it. Eddie Edero, one more cornerback. I agree. That's my next pick, actually. And Moto Casey, I have the same Chiefs sign with the helmet. Yeah, those are cool signs, man. That's cool. I'm glad you have one. Those are neat. They're old, man. I don't know if they make them still or not. Round 4, pick 119. That'll be actually a linebacker, Tommy Eckenberg. From my mock draft, a linebacker out of OSU. I don't have his stats brought up there. Who do you got in round 4, pick 119, the first of 2 draft picks in the 4th round?
Kalen King.
I like that. Where's he from again?
Oh, I forget. I'm trying to read my notes here, but the problem is I normally have all my notes on my phone and I can't go off of it at all.
I know. Now it's a lot different now. Now you can't look at that.
Yeah, it is.
Mark Malone said if you can get Clank Johnson fired up, you can get the juice. Yeah, you can, man. No doubt, Mark. Say he. Yeah, okay. Great pick. 24K. Why is it that Tomlin looked like he would rather get a colonoscopy than say something nice about Ethan toward the end of the year? Oh, Mason toward the end of the year. Yeah, that is weird, guys. I wonder that too. I don't think he was really geared up for Mason, man. I think he kind of was trying to get him pushed to the back burner and keep him there.
He'd have to admit he was wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Cover, we still got that kid from the torn ACL. Yeah, we still have Corey Trice, and he could be big. But here we go. Pick 120. That's where I have them selecting a cornerback. And there's a guy here named Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon, 6'3" tall, 203 pounds, a man press style type corner. And I think that that's where you need to go with a guy that matches up like a Joey Porter Jr., that's able to play that tough, aggressive nature on the outside and keep those edges locked down. And I think that forces things into the hands of the Steelers in their strengths. A guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's a ball hawk, even if you have Pat Pete back there playing safety, forces the quarterbacks to make tough decisions. And when you have lockdown guys on the edges, it creates a lot of dynamic for your defense to do some special things. So what do you think? Pick 120, round 4 for you, Eric.
Let me see who I had there. Jermaine Burton.
What's he play?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Jermaine Burton. All right. Where's he? What school is he from?
I think it was Alabama or Like I said, it's tough. But
Yeah.
my notes are all messed up here, and I normally have my phone to look at for my.
Yeah, I was looking to see if he was in the top 10. I don't think he's in the top 10, but we're getting down in the nitty-gritty, guys. So when we get down to these later picks, you're trying to look and see if these guys have slipped through. Maybe you can find a guy that's going to be a diamond in the rough type thing and see if they're in the top 10. You think the NFL is rigged? No, I don't think it's rigged. I think maybe narratives are pushed, but I don't think it's rigged. I'm back. I watched you yesterday. Thank you, Pineapple Boy 6610. We appreciate you. 24K. Sorry about the misspelling. Don't worry about that, bro. We can decipher it all. You're good, 24K.
I
Sean Leonard,
see.
what's up with Johnston? How many years he got for a wide receiver? He only has one more year left on his deal, and I think that's going to be another one that the Steelers maybe can restructure if Deontay Johnson is interested in remaining a Steeler for extra years, because you have to extend him in order to get him here to restructure that contract, or you kind of let him go. So what do you think about keeping Deontay Johnson, Eric? Do you think that that's something they should consider, or getting one of these wide receivers that we've talked about in the mock drafts? What do you think about maybe getting one of those guys to replace a guy like Deontay Johnson?
I think we're definitely going to have to start getting younger, but I don't think we're going to get rid of DJ. And last
Yeah.
year he showed me a lot. He started, and I mean, like I said, at the end of the year, they all seemed to show what they were really made of. I do
Yeah.
see COD Review says, what about Joe Milton? That's
Yeah.
another guy that I would definitely take at that position, around that area with the pick 120.
Oh, okay. I see who you're talking about now. The Tennessee quarterback. Okay, Joe Milton. All right. I was looking at that code. Okay. You like that pick, Nova?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be so tough because you just don't know where the run is going to start. It could be a run at middle linebackers first. It could be a run at cornerbacks. You just don't know. But in the later rounds, yeah, I could definitely deal with somebody like that.
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
I
I
like him
think
as a
so.
quarterback, but I think he's going to take some development. So I think that would be a perfect guy. And as a number 3, if he can do it, that would be fantastic. Or to take over
Yeah, no
Kenny's
doubt.
place.
Thank you, Denise Marie. Appreciate you. Eddie Edero, get another big wide out and put DJ in the slot. Yeah, you could do that. That's why I like Johnny Wilson, because he's a big body guy. So maybe you could do that kind of thing with him. Code reviews, he can throw 90 yards with a flick of the wrist. He's special. He might be. Is he a run first type guy, or is he a more pocket type guy? That's my question for it all. I don't want a runner. I don't want a
More
running back
pocket.
at the quarterback position. Okay,
More
that's
pocket.
cool.
Strong,
I'll
strong
have to
kid.
check him out.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's a
I'm gonna have to
strong
check him
kid.
out.
Bigger kid, strong. Yep. I think he'd be a good. I think he'd be good.
Yeah.
We've got to get some. We're definitely going to have to get a quarterback in the draft. I just don't want a wasted pick quarterback. I'd like to at least have somebody that we're going to keep on the practice squad.
Hmm.
I hate
Yeah,
wasting
no doubt.
draft picks. We
Yeah,
can't
me
afford to
too. I
waste.
hate it, but that's the thing, man. When you have holes all over the place, you can't afford to waste any, man. It's
Shout
just
out to
tough.
Lois there, Ian's Rock. She said she's
Thanks,
definitely
Lois.
from downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh, Nova, stay golden. There you go. Nice. Thanks, Lois, for coming. We appreciate you. Sean Leonard, I don't care, big body or wide receiver. Little wide receiver, he had the best receiver, little AB, and a fake receiver in Claypool. Yeah, I thought Claypool was a big, huge bust. I'm glad the Bears took him off our hands and we got Joey Porter Jr. out of the deal. That was quite a nice trade for us. That worked out very, very
Oh
well.
yeah, there's
All right,
another
let's
reason.
move. Go ahead.
I don't think the Bears will ever do business with us again after that.
Yeah, no shit, man. They're probably like, man, they freaking screwed us, dude. Hey guys, hit that like button up there in the top right hand corner. Hit them 3 little white dots and hit that drop down box. Hit that like button here and become part of the crew, and like the show, and keep coming back here to Mike Drop Sports as we do our live shows. I'm Jason, and that is Eric, aka Nova Racer, and we are here doing our Friday edition. So we're gonna go for just a few more minutes. We're gonna figure out the end of this draft.
I
What they
see.
say?
Capybara Prats says
Yeah,
he's a Bears fan, and he's glad that the Dolphins took Claypool off in their hands.
yeah, I bet you are, dude. He was horrible. We screwed you over with that one for sure, no doubt about it. All
Yep.
right, let's move to round 6, pick 196 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have him taking the linebacker from Wisconsin. I'm going to butcher his name, so bear with me. Maima Nigjonmeta. Nigjonmeta. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, guys. That one's a hard one for me to get out. But the linebacker from Wisconsin, big guy, nice wingspan on him, 234 pounds. I feel like he can fly around. Ran the 40 in 4.59 seconds. He's 6 foot tall, like a stocky type dude. I think he can fly around and create nice ability to get to the edges and create some nice run stopping ability for himself. I think he can do that, and they like Wisconsin type guys. So that's just my pick. Who do you have? Picks round 6, pick 196.
I'm thinking that's where we start looking for a punter.
You don't like Matt Ariza?
I do, but I don't think I honestly I believe that there's going to be other like Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is probably already planning on taking him. To be honest with you, no, I think that's where I just hope it's not another Tomlin pick, and he's going to find the saddest case he can find to become our next punter. But
I sure to hell hope not.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see even I don't know how late, but at that point, I'd like to start even looking for a another wide receiver, like I think it was Code. It's hard for me to see them here.
Code Bar Prods.
Yeah, he was talking about taking talent over how big the receiver is.
Yeah, I agree. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, we took DJ in a 6, so that's where I would start looking for somebody like him, somebody to replace DJ, because I don't think we're going to pay him another salary next year. So, yeah, I would definitely start looking for a receiver like somebody that was rough like him. But look at what he turned out to be, and we've always drafted great with receivers. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think we could do it. And I just like a mix. That's why I pick some of the guys I do. I like a mix. I like some big body guys. I want some smaller guys. I like some guys that are a little bit in between. So I just like to have that variety. That's just because I think it creates mismatches on for defenses to have to defend different types of guys all over the field. What about an Aussie punter? Yeah, you never know. C Steelers, what's up, dude? C Steelers, do you know if we have picked up any good wide receiver in free agency? Free agency hasn't started quite yet, but we will get there. Somebody else said, who'd we pick in the first round? I picked an offensive tackle, Funga. I cannot remember who Nova took. We've been going for quite a while, so forgive me. Sorry, guys.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
There you go. Hopefully, you're hell on him. You want him, dude.
I do.
But Marvin Harrison Jr. so bad he can taste it.
Well, I mean, we've got to take if he's there. I mean, you just forget about the line, you forget everybody else, and you take him. But I was thinking about that Sweat, DeAndre Sweat.
Yeah.
Or like a Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah.
Somebody like that.
Cool. Yeah, these later round guys, these are just toss-ups. You're not going to know who's going to be there. It's very hard to predict down here at the bottom. And then round 7, that's where I have them taking a quarterback, Carter Bradley, South Alabama with pick 237. Who'd you have, Nova?
I didn't make
it that far.
Well,
yeah, 7th round.
I actually have written down best player available.
Hey, that's fair. And a lot of people say it like that because it's so hard, guys, to predict who's going to be down there in that low range or that late round, that late day, last couple picks. It's really hard. And typically, too, a lot of teams jump around and jostle this whole draft up in these late rounds. They're swapping 6th round, 7th round picks, and things don't pan out the way that they should. You're going to have some teams get 2, 3, 6th round picks. It's just the way it goes. They trade shit around all over the place. I
also like to see how the combine goes before I start making my definite picks. You know what I mean? Because you could be high on somebody, and they could come in and run a 5.4 40.
Yeah, I'm cool with the combine statistics and all that shit. I like some of it, and I do use some of it. I like to see a player on the tape, man. I think that that's where I really gauge most of my shit off of is watching these guys, seeing their ability to fight through some shit on the field, maybe like injuries, bad shit going on. They're losing. How do they handle it? I think that that's just a big thing that they should look at for sure.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
pro days when they go to their pro days and stuff, I think that's big too. Yeah, I don't base everything on the combine, but I do like to see, you know, if you got a big lineman coming in there and he can only bench press 10 times, then he's not for me.
yeah, no doubt, man. Somebody put okay, I see that. All right, man. Thank you too. I want to thank Sean for coming in the chat tonight and also being a moderator. Nova Eric, he does it too. He's a moderator. We're probably going to pick one more guy here down the road to be a moderator because the chat gets full sometimes, and we like to keep it a little bit clear so you guys can get your good questions in, your good comments in about football and what we're talking about. And I truly appreciate you guys all coming through. Please hit that like button. We only have 22 likes, man, and we've had almost 100 people the whole show. So you guys hit the shit out of that like button.
I think some
Somebody
people
said
hate
her big
on the way
knees.
out.
What's that?
I think some
Yeah, that's
people,
true.
yeah, and I think it kind of updates. It doesn't update like as soon as they do it. I think it only does it like once every 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, it may, man. You may be right for sure. I don't know. It's hard on my end to see it. It should be live on our end, but who knows? Sean Leonard, I say go Mason this year. Caleb Williams is his name is a bust. He may be, man. He had a little bit of weird shit going on there at the end of his career at USC. All right, Sean, take it easy, bro. Caleb is definitely overrated. I think so. I don't think you're going to see the Chicago Bears take him. That's why I don't know if they're going to trade Justin Fields, but it is what it is. All right, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you want to bring up, Eric? Let me know. What do you want to hear, or what do you want to say here toward the end of the show?
Yeah, I mean, it drives me crazy with these people that get all worked up over these top first round quarterbacks. And what is it? 10% of the time is when they only work out 10% of the time. So
Ain't that crazy?
yeah, that's like Heisman
Mm-mm.
winners. Heisman Trophy
Yeah.
winners come in and they can't play football anymore. I just don't get it.
It's so weird. But the NFL game is so different, guys. It really is. And it's so hard to figure out who's going to translate to that game. And I see that at youth sports levels. I've seen kids that are freaking monsters, throughout elementary school and they get junior high and then they get to the high school level where the speed changes and they're completely different. I've seen high school kids that are phenomenal athletes, monsters on the field get to the college level and become duds. It's just how it is. Going up in level is a lot different. The speed of the game is the big thing. Seeing the game is so different, man.
That's
What
another
will
thing
happen to
about
Kenny?
that's another thing about Mason in high
Yeah,
school. And I can't remember all the things that he's done, but in high school, I think he threw 80 touchdowns or something like that in his senior year, which is
yeah,
ridiculous. And then when he moves
yeah.
up to college, he kept it going and he was good all through college, not just 1 year like Kenny. And
Hmm.
he won the Sammy Baugh Award and the Golden Arm Award too, or trophy.
Yeah,
So
no
he
doubt.
he came up as the competition got harder, he moved up with it, and I don't think he's gotten a chance. Where Kenny, the only good year he had in college was his last year, and that was his fifth year. So it
Yeah,
was like and like they keep saying, those guys are college open. In the NFL, you only have a small area to throw that. That's NFL open, and I
yeah,
don't
no
think
doubt.
Kenny. I don't think Kenny can hit those tight windows like that.
Yeah, Kenny will start Vincent for sure. In my eyes, I think they're just so hard, have a hard on for Kenny for sure, man. In that building, Mason holds the season all-time yardage and TD record at OK State. Yeah, man, he does. He's a beast in my eyes. I think he can get it done. Eddie Edero, he was a gunslinger throughout. Sean Leonard Garrett tried killing Mason. Then Tomlin fell in love with the tail. He had Duck almost in the playoffs. Duck Hodges people got a little bit too head over heels for that bullshit. I mean, he's a cool dude, but that's about it.
Well, see,
TJ
that's when
disappointing, yeah, no doubt.
he was pulling Mason out, and putting Duck in or whatever, and when you have a rookie quarterback or a first time starting quarterback, they give him a little bit of a grace period. They expect him to have a few bad games. With Tomlin,
Yeah.
it was like if Mason started to struggle a little bit, he didn't leave him in to work himself out of the problem. He immediately yanked him out, and I think that's another reason why his confidence went away.
Yeah. That kills a guy's confidence for sure. Up, we got the Poochies going. My
Yeah,
dogs have been relatively good lately with the live shows, and one of them's about to get in trouble because she just got on the couch down here. So I'm about to go
yep.
kick her ass when the show's over. She don't even realize it yet because I don't let them on the couch. They're too
Yeah.
damn big.
My Newfoundland's gonna get my other one going here, and that's what he'll come out and start picking on. There he is. He's gonna.
Here they go. It's over. Oh well, we're gonna be wrapping it up anyway,
All right,
guys.
give me
The
one
dogs are
second.
going
I'll be
crazy.
right back.
All right, Nova's gonna go tell his dogs to tone it down here, but no big deal. It don't matter. Dogs are cool, man. We love dogs here at Mike Drop Sports. Pickens is gonna absolutely ball out next season. Absolutely, Vincent. Mason was given no shot. You're right. He wasn't, man, for sure. No doubt about it. Once Nova gets back, we're gonna wrap this show up, probably, guys. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, put it in there real quick. My voice is starting to hurt. We've been going for 70 minutes plus now. So yeah, we're gonna get to closing things up. Again, hit that like button for me. If you want to ever support the show, we do have our Cash App in the bio on our channel page, on our biography part of our channel page in the links section. That's probably the best way to support us. We also appreciate any super chats as we try to make this one of the best channels on YouTube. And we are going to continue to reinvest back into the show, upgrade the quality of the content and all that shit in terms of production value and things of that nature. We're starting to get our core group of guys together. We have Eric, Nova Racer. We have Sean. We have good guys coming back through the channel and starting to really help us build this thing and get going. And these live shows have been spectacular. And I want to thank you for coming on tonight, Eric. Your insight is great. I like the way you know your football. It's really cool, and I appreciate you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about, man, before we get off?
The main thing is right now everybody's got to keep everything in perspective. Before free agency opens up and before the combine and everything, there's going to be so many rumors about. I think every quarterback that becomes available will be coming to the Steelers, obviously. But
Yeah,
don't fall for all that other crap. Find out, get your sources right. Like I like DK and Ramon. Ramon Foster texts Mason directly while they're on the show. So
yeah,
you're not going through a third party to get that information. So pay attention to the people that actually know what's going on. Don't fall for all the hype from all these other people. And my God, the Justin Fields thing, that's got to stop.
yeah. I can't take no more of it for sure, man. Uh, we'll look at a couple more of these comments. Did you like the Super Bowl? I did. Later, Sean. Carter's production. What's up, bro? D, did y'all see Kanye's Super Bowl? Nah, I didn't really pay attention to it, bro. I hear rumors Russell Wilson heading out east. That's what Nova was just talking about, guys. Don't fall for all these rumors all the time. They're not going to probably happen until they actually have happen. That don't believe it. We
Now
did get a new
the
subscriber.
thing
A
with
guy just
Russ,
said,
the thing with Russell Wilson, I don't think the
mm-hmm.
Steelers are going to want a quarterback to come in, even if the Donkeys are going to pay him next year's salary. We
Yeah,
don't want a borrowed quarterback for 1 year. I don't think that they're looking for that.
no,
And if he comes in, you have to play him immediately, and that just puts
mm-hmm.
Kenny right on the bench. And I don't think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Vincent Cardwell. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you, man. We appreciate you greatly. D, you should watch it. It's hilarious. He paid $7 million for the ad and just filmed himself in the truck with his phone. Yeah, man, Kanye's got some crazy shit going on in that man's head. Chronic 0420. I thought Russ was actually out. No, Russell Wilson is a guy that the Denver Broncos brought in for mega dollars, and now they're going to end up footing the bill for his 2024 season, and another team's going to end up picking him up. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. My voice is dying here. And again, I thank you, man, for coming on. So we'll see Nova again. We'll bring him on for sure. Tonight was his first night, so thank you to him. And we're about out, man. All right, Nova.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jay.
dude.
I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
buddy.
Had a good
Yeah, man.
time. I enjoy it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
Peace
right,
out,
guys, we're
Mafia.
out of here. Thank you. Yeah, no doubt. Thank you again, Eric. Thank you, Nova, for coming on. And this was a great show. We averaged a good amount of viewers throughout the show. So
Hit
thank you
like and
guys so
subscribe.
much. Yes. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Yeah, we'll see you. All right, guys. Thank you. This is Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. That's Eric. And until next time, peace.